Daniel. So I am here in Seattle, Washington for the Yang Rally here at Gasworks Park here in Seattle, right on some water. Yes, very exciting. So the Yang people, Yang gang rather, is over there
right now, actually.
setting up, and so it doesn't start till 6, but here a little bit early, and we will see what a great event this will turn out to be. Hopefully tons of people from Seattle area will be showing up, so I will cover it all.
You got me on the spot right now, actually. I'm so sorry.
So I am here in Seattle, and this is the stage that Andrew Yang will be speaking on. Yes, it's all backwards for this footage, but I will show you the frontwards footage here, momentarily when he's on stage or when he's on his way to the stage. But it's beautiful right here on the water, and so it's a beautiful day here in Seattle. Excited for this event, and we will Yang gang it up, as I say, here soon. Okay, so this is obviously the Yang gang setting everything up, and it's gonna be a warm day, I think, actually. So everybody pretty much has the tables already set up even before I got here, which is normally not how that works, but hey, I got here a little bit, I got here on time instead of early today, so everybody's pretty much set for people coming in and ready to go. So we will see what happens with this event.
And I put that on gang. $1,000. Gang, gang. Wow, help gang. Gang, gang. Helping people. Gang, gang. Gang, gang. This for every state. Gang, gang.
I'm about to have a Carly sighting. I don't know if you can see, but that is a Carly sighting. She is running to get ready for Andrew Yang. That's how serious this is, people. She's running here and running there. Anyway, Andrew Yang should be coming somewhere from that direction any moment now. So Andrew Yang is cheating by driving his SUV right up to the front gates here. Looks like Zach is driving. Okay. Fans getting selfies from the car.
But I'm so glad you're here. Let's hear a little Andrew Yang. Andrew Yang. Andrew Yang. Andrew Yang. Andrew Yang. Thank you so much for coming out tonight. Did everybody get some swag, sign? Woo! Alright, I'm wearing a pin. I got 9 months ago when Andrew came to Seattle. It was early days, and there were 30 of us that were all pleasure to talk about him to anyone who will listen. The campaign call to action this winter was to start Yang Gangs, and despite what we affectionately call here in Seattle the Seattle Chill, people came out. Our instant bond was the fact that we could talk about his policies like normal people, and we could explain how it would make our lives better, our families' lives better, and all of you who we don't even know. One of our volunteers took a chance and asked the campaign to come back, and without hesitation, they said yes. So we've been working tirelessly for weeks to share Andrew with you, Seattle. It's been an incredible experience. I've made a lot of friends. So let's give a big shout out to all the volunteers that made this possible. Thank you for coming out tonight. Humanity first. It is my pleasure to bring on another volunteer who I just met and who is now my friend, Chandler B. Wilson. Thank you.
All right. How we doing tonight? Awesome. Well, hey, it's so great to be here. It's just such a pleasure to be speaking at the Humanity First tour. Just the name alone is really what caught my attention. I was asked to speak just because my background is a little unique. I'm what many people might call a recovering Republican. I've grown up in the Seattle area my whole life, but I grew up with a pretty conservative family and community. Nothing wrong with that, and I love that this campaign can actually embrace that. Because growing up, I got into speech and debate in high school, and that's what started my love for politics. And then from there, I started working on campaigns, volunteering in both high school and college, but mostly for Republicans. I ended up even managing a campaign for a Republican in 2014. And then 2016 came around, and it kind of felt like all of the rules and everything about politics just completely changed. I don't know if anybody else kind of noticed that as well. But as of right now, we're seeing all of the rules being broken just day by day. And so all of a sudden, I found myself just kind of lost, not really knowing what to do in the political arena. I felt unrepresented, and I felt like it was just, I was getting tired of all of the divisiveness, the tribalism, the looking at things as a zero-sum game between Democrats and Republicans, and I was just really getting fed up with that, and I didn't see anybody who was really looking to change that. And then outside of that, my background is in banking. So I don't know if anybody here has ever used an automated teller machine or an ATM, but it didn't take long for me to realize that all of a sudden we were going to see a whole lot of those jobs in the banking industry just completely disappear over the next few years. And I all of a sudden started realizing that nobody was talking about this. And so when a couple of my friends showed me a couple of Andrew Yang's videos, I all of a sudden saw, here's somebody who is a former debater, which the debater in me gets so excited every time I hear him say, when I took a look at the numbers, here's what I found, or when I took a look at the data, here's what I found, was because here all of a sudden, instead of somebody who's just relying on rhetoric and talking points, we have somebody who is actually pinpointing the problems that are facing this nation and actually presenting rational, reasonable, common sense solutions that we can all get behind, right? And so what I love about this campaign is that right here is the perfect example. Seattle, we're already a very diverse community, but right here, right now, we have people that in 2016 voted for Bernie Sanders, voted for Hillary Clinton, voted for Donald Trump, maybe even, and maybe this is you, how many people didn't vote in 2016, or this is your first political rally that you've ever been to? I love that, and that's what this campaign is all about, is because it's not left, it's not right, it's forward.
Thank you, Carrie. Thank you, Chandler.
Thank you, Seattle! Thank you! You're beautiful! You're beautiful! Oh my gosh! Yes! Woo! Thank you, Seattle! Thank you! How beautiful are you? I have to admit, I was walking to the side and I did not realize how big this crowd was until just now. This is one big gang and it's getting bigger all the time. Thank you, Yang Gang Seattle! Well, when you come to a group like this, I have to say it's almost fun for my campaign team and I, because people are talking about these other candidates and we're drawing bigger crowds, getting bigger numbers, we're polling at higher levels. Now, you all are here. If you're here, you know that I'm not a career politician. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a problem solver. And I'm here to solve the problem that's been driving our country to distraction for the last 2 years, which is how the heck did Donald Trump win in 2016? And if you were just to come from another planet and turn on CNN, what would you think were the reasons why Donald Trump won? The list would go, I agree. So someone just shouted Russia. That's definitely very high on the list. Maybe Facebook, maybe FBI, maybe Hillary Clinton. But I looked at the numbers, I did some math. And the reason why Donald Trump is our president today is that we automated away 4 million manufacturing jobs in Ohio, Michigan, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, Missouri, Iowa, all the swing states that he needed to win. How many of you are from one of those states? Yeah, I knew it. And so if you're from those states, you know what I mean. And now, how many of you all work for Amazon or one of the tech companies out here? Yeah. It's cool. Techies are a big part of the Yang Gang. And if you work in technology, you know that what we did to the manufacturing jobs, we will now do to the retail jobs, the call center jobs, the fast food jobs, the truck driving jobs, and also jobs like bookkeeping, accounting. I was an unhappy corporate attorney for 5 whole months, and I guarantee you can automate that job. We are in the 3rd inning of the greatest economic and technological transformation in the history of our country. It's called the 4th Industrial Revolution. It is already tearing us apart. Donald Trump is a symptom. He's not the disease. It is not immigrants that are causing these problems throughout our country and economy. It is technology. It is not immigrants. What do you think, Seattle? So this is what drove Donald Trump to win. I looked at the numbers. There's actually a direct line up between the adoption of industrial robots in a district and the movement towards Donald Trump. You can actually trace the line district by district. So I had the research and I went to Washington, D.C., and I'm a pretty cool guy, so I can meet with fairly important people. And what do you think the folks in Washington, D.C. said to me when I said, hey guys, we're going through this massive transformation. It's already gotten Donald Trump in the White House and it's just going to get worse. What are we going to do? What do you think the folks in Washington, D.C. said to me when I said, what are we going to do? So the big responses I got were, number 1, we cannot talk about that. Number 2, we should study that. And number 3, we must educate and train all Americans for the jobs of the future. And that third one sounds halfway responsible. If you really didn't know what they were saying, you'd be like, yeah, that's right. And then you just like turn away. And then they'd go back to their salad and say, excellent, the conversation is over. But again, I looked at the numbers. You all want to know what the effectiveness rate of government-funded retraining programs for manufacturing workers? What do you how effective do you think those were? Shout out some numbers. It was 0 to 15%. And so then when I said, hey, we're terrible at that, it's 0 to 15%. You know what they said to me? They said, he said the salad is delicious. That's what he said. But what they said to me was, I guess we'll get better at it then. That's what passes for policy in Washington, D.C. I guess we'll get better. So I came back from Washington, D.C. There was one guy there who actually did me in this immense favor, and he said something I'm going to share with you all today. He said, Andrew, you're in the wrong town. No one here is going to do anything about these problems because this is not a town of leaders, Washington, D.C. is a town of followers. And this guy actually said to me in a meeting in D.C., he said, the only way that we will try and solve these problems is if you were to create a wave in other parts of the country and bring that wave crashing down on our heads. And what I said to him was, challenge fucking accepted. And that's why I'm here with you all tonight, Seattle, to create that wave, bring it crashing down on their heads, wake them up, and say that we can do better than this. We can solve the problems that are tearing our society apart. So how do we do that? If you're here with us tonight, you heard this sentence at some point. There's an Asian man running for president who wants to give everyone $1,000 a month. Am I right? And all those three things are true. Now, the first time you heard that, you were like, that sounds like a gimmick. But then when you dig in, you realize that this idea has been with us since the founding of our country. Thomas Paine was for it. At the beginning, he called it the citizen's dividend. Martin Luther King championed it. In 1967, he called it a guaranteed minimum income, and it is what he was fighting for until he was assassinated the following year in 1968. Milton Friedman and 1,000 economists signed a study saying this would be tremendous for America. So much so, it was so mainstream that it passed the U.S. House of Representatives in 1971 twice. It almost became law. It came this close. And then 11 years later, one state did pass a dividend where now everyone in that state gets between $1,000 and $2,000 a year, no questions asked. And what state is that? Alaska. And how do they pay for it? Oil. And what is the oil of the 21st century? Technology. Marijuana. That's right, Seattle. Yo, you are right, it's technology. It's marijuana-related technology. Technology is the oil of the 21st century. What they're paying for in Alaska with oil money, we can pay for with technology throughout the country. Now, I know some of you work for Amazon. How much did Amazon pay in federal taxes last year? 0! That's right. And you know those accountants were high-fiving, being like, we got it down to 0 taxes again this year. Jeff's going to be so happy with us. He's going to give us another Buick full of cash. And then we're going to take that cash home to our mansions, throw it in the vault, and take a bath in it like Scrooge McDuck, like we do in all the good years. Amazon's like this giant vacuum sucking up $20 billion in commerce every year out of our Main Street economies. Now, it is not Amazon's fault. Amazon's just really good at what it does. And it's not even Amazon's fault that they're paying 0 in taxes. That's also their job. But it's our fault if they're paying 0 in taxes. People look around, it's like, we must have messed up if we've designed a system where $1 trillion tech company can pay less in federal taxes than everyone here in this park tonight.
So yes, the rally is over, and so everyone is dispersing. It was a rather big crowd when it came down to it. So see how many people.
Put that on gang. $1,000. Gang, gang. Wow. Healthcare. Gang, gang. Helping people.